All right, you guys. So today we're going to take a look at how to automate deal creation based on a form submission, or in this case, we're actually going to use a meeting link that is from HubSpot. But do know this, right? The reason this tutorial exists is because here I'm in my HubSpot and I have a starter subscription in this portal, and you'll notice that in the automation section I have workflows obviously not available to me because they're a feature included in the pro version of HubSpot, basically for sales, service, or marketing hubs or operations hub, and that is not within my budget range, right? Another thing is that if I go, for example, to my library and go to my meeting scheduler, and if I want to go to my meeting link, let's find that meeting link, which is this one right here, the 468. If I go and edit it, I also within the automation section, I don't have a way to make this meeting link create deals for me, right? But essentially anybody who books a meeting with me via this link ideally should create a deal for them, at least in the initial stages of one of my pipelines, right? Because this just means that somebody booked an actual meeting and is probably likely to close. So in this case, I do want to create that automation, but as you can see, I don't have it available in workflows because I don't have the workflows feature. I can't do it from the meeting links section or the form section either. So what we'll proceed to do is go to Zapier in order to build this automation, right? So I'm actually going to go into Zapier right now. And here we are in Zapier or Zapier, however you want to pronounce it. But definitely over here within Zapier, what I want to do is create a new automation. So I'm going to go on the right hand side and click create. Here's my Zapier account. By the way, you do need a pro plan. However, this plan is much more affordable. And then say, you upgrading to the Marketing Hub Pro or Service Hub or Operations Hub in HubSpot. If you just want this simple automation, you could just pay for the pro version of Zapier, and then also have that starter version in HubSpot, and that'll be a little bit more budget friendly to have as part of the tech stack. So let's actually go and click create here. We'll create a new SAP. And in this particular SAP, what I'm going to do, I won't do an AI thing for now. I'm just going to rename it and name it, HubSpot deal creation, right? Upon meeting form submission, right? And by the way, this can also be not only a meeting form, but also any form within HubSpot, right? So I'm actually going to do the trigger for this particular workflow we're creating in Zapier. So I'm going to select HubSpot. I'm going to choose the trigger to trigger based on an event. I'm going to search for form submission, so new form submission, right? And then we're going to go into the next phase, which is going to be choosing my account. By the way, this one's already chosen, right? But do know that if you didn't have this one chosen, you would just have to sign in via the HubSpot and Zapier connection, and you will do that here. And then so we'll click on continue now, and then I'm actually going to select my form. So in this case, it was called 468 meetings link. So this is going to be it, right? And then I'll click on continue, and then we'll test the trigger, right? So I'm just going to do a quick test, and it should be successful. Perfect. Yes. And I'm actually gonna continue with the selected record to do the test. And okay, so we passed the test, right? And you'll see that in a bit. So I'm actually gonna do now in the actions, I'm gonna select HubSpot again, right? So do know that that is what was prompted, right? So but you'll see that the first trigger is done, and then I'm gonna select the action for HubSpot, right? By the way, if I didn't want Zapier's help in creating that second option for me, what I'll just do is, like, once this trigger is set up, I'll add a step here, and then I'm gonna add HubSpot again, right? So HubSpot right here, and then there we go, right? So now what actually is gonna happen? I want to just create a deal. So I'm actually going to just search for deal, create a deal in HubSpot. That's it. Create deal in HubSpot, selecting my account here, and then I'm going to click on continue, right? So now what I'm going to do is place the name of that deal, right? So essentially, since I'm going to use the form in this case in order to create that deal name too. So in order for us to do that, you can use any naming convention you want, but I essentially would like to have the contact's, first name and last name, and then maybe a dash and say, new deal or something like that, right? So I'm actually going to do that. So I'm actually just going to first map out the first name from the HubSpot form submission, first name, and then I'll do last name, right? And then here's where I want to add in then a dash and just put new deal, for example, right? And in this case, let's actually proceed to do that. I'm going to do now the deal pipeline, which will be my sales pipeline, and then the deal stage, which will be, in this case, I just want to do a quick discovery call stage meeting, right? So in this case, this is where the deal is going to go. In the amount, I'm not going to put anything right now because I won't have an amount to tie to it just right now because it's just setting up a meeting. But then as far as everything else goes, I think this will be all right. And then I'm just going to click on continue. Right, so now, for example, in this case, in this particular example, my deal will have the contact's first name and last name, and it will say new deal. And so I'm just going to go back to configuration because I did notice that I did not put a space between the first name and last name. So that'll just make my deal look a little bit cleaner if I fix that. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to click on continue, right? And now you can see the deal will look like this, the first name and last name, and then it will be a new deal. I will leave everything else empty for now because I don't need it, and I'm just going to test this step here quickly. And so yeah, that was essentially good. And now let's actually publish the SAP now. So I'm actually gonna click on publish, right? So that SAP is ready. And so now upon the form submission of that particular meeting, a new deal will be created, right? And so now let's test it out. So I'm gonna go back to home here, and then I'm gonna go to my meeting link here. I'm just gonna open it in a new tab, right? And here, actually, well, I see that I don't have any dates available in February, but I'm actually going to schedule something for myself on the 4th of March. So let's actually do maybe at 3 p.m. And then I'm going to place just my name, right? Like Jorge Fuentes, and then put an email, my normal email address right there. And then I'll do confirm, right? And so now I've just scheduled a meeting with myself via the meeting link that I used in Zapier in order to create a new deal. So let's actually look at what happens. I'm going to go back to HubSpot. I'm just going to go quickly to the deal section now. And now we're just going to go into the deal pipeline. And by the way, you will see that I did have the test deal come through as well. That was during the Zapier test, but I'm actually just going to delete this one quickly. Delete one record, and that's it. But do know, yes, now I have the other meeting set up right here. Jorge Fuentes' new deal is already here. So if I look at it, definitely now, at least with that workaround, I can have an automated creation of a deal, and then definitely I can just go ahead and associate it manually to any contact if I wanted to do that. But at least I can visibly see that the deal was created, and that's as much as we would need to do. And now that's both the SAP is working and also HubSpot is being fed with that particular automation as well. Thank you.